What is going on, guys? It's your boy Sesso here, bringing us a video here today, bringing guys a Photoshop tutorial on how to create your very own cool, we'll call them this like bordered Twitch panels or clean bordered Twitch panels, something like that. If you guys have no idea what Twitch panels are, of course right below the Twitch screen is the gameplay, or excuse me, well in front is gameplay, right? And right below is all the information that you guys would like to see, like their Twitter, socials, donate, subscribe, merch, all that kind of stuff. I want to show you guys how to make these really cool 3D-esque like bordered versions of it. I think it looks really cool, really dope actually. I just want to kind of show you guys on how to create it, which I think is pretty fun. So all we're going to be really working on is doing this really quick little sort of border to it, and then just kind of getting the composition to look as like good as possible. The inside background, like the whole gradient thing, the background, gradient, picture, whatever can all be replaced, of course, as well, so you can keep it nice and original to your style. Or the background doesn't have to be Fortnite. I just chose Fortnite for the sake of the video here today. It can be whatever gameplay you guys choose from. It can be whatever kind of cool design you might find out, cool texture, noise, whatever you guys want it to be. I think there's a very clean, professional look to it. I think you can make your Twitch page itself just look really nice. So I want to show you guys how to do it. And of course, 2 likes on the video equals a secret down below, which will most likely be these panels here for you guys. Go ahead and download and fix and do whatever you guys want to do with them yourselves. And with that being said, let's just jump right into this video, and that's it. Let's go. Alright guys, so to get this thing going right here, right now, I'm going to start off with the actual dimension size of the panels. And for me personally, I go to File, New, and I go ahead and put on a 600 by 150, 300 resolution right here. So this is my sort of base to go with. I'm going to press Create for a second. It's going to open this up in this canvas size. Now this canvas size is kind of, I would say, in the realm of being a very default canvas size. I personally like to have it more of a sleeker, skinnier look. So for me, I would go ahead and press C on my keyboard, which is the crop tool, correct, right? And you can take the top side of this and just kind of drag this down a little bit more to give it more of a sleek panel, and also even move the right hand side more towards the right if you don't want to have so much of that long space that you might not really personally need. And then you just press this little check mark up here. It'll refix that document size to get wherever you want, right? So also to mention, by the way, people have been doing a lot of these sort of like taking a few panels that are important to them, whether it's like merch, maybe it's them subscribing to YouTube because they want to build another social media, maybe the donate button itself are larger thumbnails or larger, panels, right? So what I mean by that is they would usually sometimes have, if I use a crop tool, they would have panels a little something like this, right? A little more wider, more square, right? And they kind of have like, let's just say if it was a merch thing, oh crap, I gotta draw. Pray for me, right? We're just gonna do this, right? And then, ooh, yeah, great, right? That's a shirt. They have another shirt over here, another shirt over here, big button that says like, you know, purchase or buy now or something like that, and they can have like the merch or the logo up here, right? Those panels as well, same exact format. If you guys want to copy the same sort of like tutorial that you're going to see in a few seconds here, like the whole, the whole process at least, you guys need a better idea of getting these bigger sort of rectangles as well for more important stuff. Pointing that out there, I'm going to just kind of go with what I was going to go with before, which is me kind of going with this like little sleeker, smaller little box to kind of work with. And I'm going to say to myself, this is what I want, and I'm pretty satisfied and okay with this. And let's just go ahead and get this thing going. So 600 by 150, fix it with the crop tool, whatever size you personally need. And then if you guys want to see the size that I have right here, right now, I can save it. So it's 508 by 120 is my current size that I'm on right now to get like after that I fix it with a 650, right? Or 600, right? So there you guys go. Very quick explanation of how panels can work. It doesn't have to be one size only. And I would also suggest now that people are like moving around sort of that way of making more bigger panels of the important ones in their case, right? So let's go ahead and start with the box. I'm going to go ahead and just take this rectangle tool here, right here, which is U on the keyboard, by the way. I can just go ahead and simply just kind of like highlight the box very quickly. I'm not going to kind of try to measure it, like trying to like make sure it's matched on both sides. I'm going to go ahead, right when I make that simple little box, I'm going to press Control T on my keyboard, and then I can just go ahead and say, hey, let's just snap it to all these corners. It's a way easier, way more satisfying, and sort of like really mistakeless. You really can't make that mistake, okay? Once you've done it like this, you can go ahead and just press enter, or just simply press a check mark. And now we can see why we use a rectangle tool is we're gonna be using the stroke option. So if your stroke option is not enabled, which is this one right here, the box right after the word stroke, if your fill is on for some reason, which is probably like a black screen or something like that, right? You just simply click on this little box right here and take this little red slash box, and you select that, and then you take your stroke box, and you can just make it whatever color you guys wish to. I'm gonna make it this gray for now. If you guys want the same gray that I'm using, it is 4D545A, and this might not really matter for you because the color might be getting changed. Like I said, for the border is gonna be using like a gradient overlay, so that's gonna be your main color source. So it doesn't really matter what this color is. I can press OK. When I've done this, I can go ahead and take my stroke. To the right of the stroke color is a stroke, I guess you would say the stroke size, correct? If you guys go to Windows Properties as well, there's a better table for this, for me personally. Make sure you guys, your boxes are showing on the inside. So this first box is saying this is inner, the second box here is center, and the last box here is the outside. So that's where the stroke was gonna be like put. So make sure you guys put it on the first line, which is the inside. And then you guys just take this little box right here. I'm gonna type in 8. Just like so, and I think 8's a pretty good number to start off with. At any point in this tutorial, you guys can change the actual size of your borders, which makes it really, really simple and cool, and even move them. If you guys were to take your crop tool, right, all you would have to do is just refix this rectangle because it's a vector as well, and it'll keep that size. So it makes it super, super simple for you guys to mess around with sizing and stuff like that as well. Okay, so let's just make this a background. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just double click on this rectangle, and I already saved a style for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of run through it for you guys so you can see it really quickly. This is 3 different things. It's a bevel and emboss, inner glow, and a gradient overlay. Very, very simple things, right? You can see how really nice and clean, sharp it honestly looks on its own. I'm gonna go ahead and just double click on this and run through it really quickly. So it's bevel and emboss. The depth is at 542. I'm gonna put it to 550 for the sake of keeping it nice and even. I like my 0s and 2s. Okay. Size is at 2. Soften is at 0. We're gonna have our angle at 86. Our altitude at 32. And our highlight mode and our shadow mode are on screen and multiply. Right, and also by default, these colors here are white on the top and black on the bottom. I personally made them a little more grayer tones because if you guys had this pure white here, right, you can see how it looks a little bit too glossy, a little bit too modified in a way. It doesn't look kind of clean or like kind of smooth in that way. So I personally went with a gray, which is basically all hex tones. Just kind of spam the number 4 like 6 times. You guys get this nice little gray. And on the bottom here, besides being pure black, we have sort of like a 2 spammed out, right? So this kind of makes it less sort of aggressive. I just made it like this, right? You can see this is how it usually would be. If you want this kind of look to it, even if you want to change the highlight color to an actual color itself, people would like to do that as well. I would suggest if you guys want to do that, absolutely go ahead, go for it. But I wanted the gray tone. You can mess around with this a little more, have fun with it. This actually looks pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oof, right? I mean, that kind of looks super freaking clean. So play around with it. If you guys want to make it look like this is hex code 0F and a whole bunch of other zeros at the end. And then the multiply was on black. So, I mean, if you guys want to keep that one, that was a pretty good one too. But for me, I'm going to go with what I had before, which was nice little gray tones for this inner glow, right? Oops, let me turn that off. Inner glow. Oop. Bevel and emboss. There we go, right? Gray tones. So, we have the inner glow here, which is simply on linear dodge add, right? The color is a nice little sort of blue. The hex code is 8DC8FF. Now, for this one here, it's just a nice little sort of like, I would say a kind of like encapsulating and kind of it gives it a nice little glow, a nice little sort of contour, and almost like makes the lines look a little more sharp because we have a simple 2-size pixel, 1-stroke sort of thing going on here. Excuse me. Going on here. Looks pretty freaking dope. And without it, kind of looks a little bit too flat, in my opinion. So if you guys want to go with this, I would suggest you guys go with this as well. And for the gradient overlay, like I said before, this is where your color's going to be coming in from. Mine was not on 100% opacity. That's why I gave you guys the original color. But if you guys want to keep it on a 100% opacity basis, the gradient would have to change, right? So blend mode, normal on the gradient overlay, opacity 100%. And the gradient, I'm going to select this really quickly. And I have a black on this side. I'm going to make this a little more blue and a little more lighter. So I'm going to say, let's go like with this. Okay. I'm going to say this right here is pretty accurate and good. So hex code 32363D. I'm going to press OK. And on the right hand side is going to be 43505E. So if you guys take those hex codes and put them in, you guys are good to go. And my midpoint here is just moved from the middle to a little bit more towards the right hand side. So location is about 62%. Very simple, right? If you guys will type that in, I can press OK. I can press OK again. And if once you guys are done with your layer style, by the way, if you guys want to save it like I personally did and how you saw me do it before, if you double click on this layer, just type in new style, or excuse me, click on new style, press OK. You can name whatever the heck you guys want to name it. And under your styles, which is right above the blending options, is a whole bunch of different styles that you guys can go ahead and save. And just really quickly, when you're doing another panel, whether you're a designer doing it for a client, you can do this very, very quickly. Makes it really, really easy, right? So like I was saying before as well, if you were to actually select on the rectangle and press the U on your keyboard, you can bring up your options again. You can also open up your properties table again. If you guys want to at any point mess around with the actual size of the border, you guys can. Let's say if 8 was too much, you guys want to like lower it down to 7, you can absolutely do that, right? But I'm gonna keep mine on 8 just for the sake of knowing. Make sure you guys know it's very easy to do that. Also scaling it, same thing before, using the crop tool, it does the same exact thing, then free transform it afterwards. don't have to worry about anything like that. But okay, I'm gonna also tell you guys really quickly, with a black background, right? If you guys go to filter, noise, add noise, a lot of people have been doing this as well. On one noise percentage, right? One amount percentage on the add noise, Gaussian for their distribution, and monochromatic, which is going to get rid of all that red and yellows and blues, right? You want to select that, it makes it black and white, and you press OK. And you guys just kind of look at it. It looks like a really cool, clean, crisp look to it. I know a lot of the people, like I would say not designers, but streamers themselves are kind of going with this route right here, where they kind of have like Twitter icon, just very simple text, and kind of going with this route. It looks super, super clean, but I kind of want to make it a little more my kind of style, which is like something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and get with this thing going. Okay, so I'm going to go with a simple picture as the background, a gradient, and the word of whatever the social panel is, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just type in Twitter for my instance. I'm going to go ahead and just put this VA on 0. I'm going to make my font that I'm using right now is Gotham Black. I'm going to go with like, what, 9? Let's go with 9, like a little more bigger. Okay, so I want Twitter on the right-hand side, and we're hugging the right-hand side. Okay, I'm going to make a duplicate of this text, Control J on my keyboard, move it up, change this to a nice little subtext. I like to go with follow me for Twitter. For donates, I say tips are appreciated. For Instagram, I say check me out. Or for YouTube, I say check out more content. So kind of think of these really cool little sort of ways that you can express what they're about to click on, or maybe like a little, like a nudge to, hey, click on this because of this reason, subtext wise, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just type in follow me for updates, right? And now I'm going to go ahead and just make this a lot smaller than the other ones, or the text itself, the major text. And I want this to be like, let's just say 2, right? I'll take the VA split right here, which is under the characters table. If you guys don't have the characters table enabled, go to Windows Character. Very simple, right? You can take the VA split. It puts the spacing between each letters and kind of gives them, of course, more space. So, y'all hear that? What the hell? Is he okay? Anyway, VA, you just take this, bruh. Okay, that was kind of weird, actually. There's like someone, I guess like their key, I have no, it was okay. Anyway, the VA spacing here, as I was saying before, is the amount of space that are in between each letter. So if you guys were to go ahead and just kind of zoom this out, right? Or excuse me, not zoom it out, but take my scroll wheel, kind of move it up, right? You guys will give you more numbers. I'm gonna go with like a good old, like 280 is pretty good, right? I'm gonna center this. I'm gonna go ahead and move these two things down a little bit more to center them in a sort of like, not the word Twitter, but both of them, I want them to be centered. Not just the word Twitter, I want these both lines of text to be in the center, which makes the Twitter word itself be a little more further down than it would usually be, right? So once you're done with this, I'm gonna go to this really nice little old pack of mine that I personally like to use for social media stuff, right? I'm gonna go like this, put the little Twitter icon right here. Okay, so very, very simple stuff. I just add the text, add the icon of whatever the actual social media or the tab is all about. If it's a merch link, you can just type in like t-shirt, PNG icon, as I like to do a lot of the time. You want to type in donate, maybe it'll be just type in donate, PNG icon. I like to just go with that route. I always get something I want, and that's what you guys do as well, right? So under the Twitter icon here, I'm going to go ahead and make a new layer, just like so. So I'm going to select the layer right below it, and I'm going to put a new layer, just like so. It'll make a layer right below the word Twitter. Okay, I'm going to take the rectangle marquee tool. I'm going to take this, just drag this, and give myself a pretty good amount of space right after I centered this. So I'm going to say this amount of space is pretty good for me. It gives me this breathing room as well for the text itself. I'm going to go ahead and right click, fill, contents, color, and make it black. Press OK again. And then I can right click, deselect on the actual canvas itself to deselect, or Control D to go ahead and deselect as well. And I'll take my opacity, just lower it by 5, which will be 95. And then I'll press enter and all that good stuff. So you have a 95% opacity at this little sort of like little simple little box for these social media. So I'm gonna call this social box, right? Just to say it, okay? I'll just make sure this is also centered between now this line here and this line here, not this right in this, right? And you want to also make sure the Twitter icon itself is centered in the box, which I believe everything is, and we're looking pretty good. So the little last parts for me is I'm gonna go to type in Fortnite. I already did. I'm so smart, right? I'm gonna put up this little picture here for a second. So right above this background, right? I'm gonna press Control V because I just copied and pasted it on my canvas, whatever you call it, my clipboard. There you go. Right, I'm gonna take this picture. Now, I think the picture itself is pretty cool. I mean, even like keeping it the same color would be pretty cool, but I like to go with like matching and like giving color context for people who don't like want to see something immediately. They go, hey, I want to follow him on Twitter. I don't want to look for anything Twitter. I want to look for Twitter's branding. So that's why keeping color is a very strong suit sometimes. It keeps people from like wasting their time and kind of like giving up on it. Like if they just say, I'm looking for it, oh, I don't see it, whatever. Like, right? You want people to be like, oh, there it is, I got it, whatever, right? So I'm gonna go ahead, after I put my picture in, I'm gonna go into my adjustments, go to my gradient map. I'm gonna click on my gradient map right here. I'm gonna go to my preset because I already have a nice little blue that I want to use. And for this here, I'm gonna move this a little bit more towards the right. Oops. Move my midpoint a little bit towards the right before I do this. Okay, I'm gonna say okay. So on the far left side here, on the far left side here, I have a pure black. And on the far right side, I have hex code 306787, right, for this nice little blue. I even might change this though. I might want to say like something more like higher tone like this for the highlights. So 3480 AC, press OK. And my midpoint here, besides being in the middle, I moved it more towards the right hand side so that the white text can be seen a little more easier because the dark side will be more in favor, right? Press OK, right? And I don't have it on reverse. If you guys see it on reverse, it'll look like that, right? I have reverse turned off. And once I have this is looking pretty cool. I'm gonna make another new layer right above the gradient map. I'm gonna take my marquee tool once again. I'm gonna simply make myself like a 2 pixel wide. It doesn't have to be exactly 2 pixels. It can be 4, 3, whatever, right? Just a nice little skinny color of blue. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the color of the Twitter icon, press OK, and then I'm gonna go ahead and fill it in with that exact color. I should have probably just done like this, right? Right click, fill. Once you guys in that marquee tool selection, color, select actually the little bird, press OK again. I can right click, deselect it. I want to put this actually above the social box as well. So this little line is going to be right above the social box. And this right here is kind of like another indicator, a very quick little sort of color coded indicator that this is what Twitter is. If it was YouTube, it'd be red, right? Of course, something like that. And if it was like donate, it could be like green or something like that, right? Kind of like money. And I'm going to go ahead and do one more little thing I like to do is I'm going to go ahead and take another new layer right above this little box. I'm going to call this little indicator. I stuck at spelling box. Hopefully that's not right. We'll see. Pen tool. We'll see. The comment section will tell me. With the pen tool here, right? I'm gonna go ahead and make a nice little sort of. I'm gonna like kind of guess where the middle is and guess where like the top. Like I'm gonna say just a very simple little guess of where the middle would be, right? I'm gonna say this sort of like click up here, follow this one little line right here, and click on the bottom right here. And once I've done that, I'll take my brush, right? So I'm gonna press B on my keyboard, just like so. You see my brush is now changed. I'm gonna go ahead and right click on the brush and change my size to 2 and my hardness to 100%, right? And then what this is gonna have us do is, actually I'm not gonna go with 2, I'm gonna go with 1 brush size, okay? There you go. Now I was gonna say, if your pen tool, by the way, is like gone for a quick second, it's okay, it's still there, trust me. So bring out your pen tool once again, unless you press delete, right? Just so you guys know. Okay, right click, gives the option for a stroke path when you right click with your pen tool, and you guys are gonna go drop down the tools and go to brush, and press OK. So before I press OK really quickly, once you press OK, it'll take the exact color of what is in foreground color and the exact size of the brush. So if you guys are going with 2, it'll be a little more thicker. If you guys went with, you can't go below 1, but 1, it'll be more thinner, right? So I'm gonna press OK once I have brush selected, just like so. On a new layer, on a new layer, right? Right click, delete the path now to get rid of it. So it's the same color as this blue as this right here. So I just will quickly like drag this out. You can see it's the same exact color, right? But I want it to be a little more, I guess you would say, a little more brighter. I'm gonna go with, so I'm gonna go with like color overlay, take my blue and make sure the saturation is pretty high. And I'm also gonna go ahead and go to outer glow here. I'm gonna go ahead and just make sure this is gonna give me a nice sort of like glow as well with the blue. Okay, I'll say something like this, like a 3 size, 0 spread, linear dodge add blend mode. I could probably put it on normal as well, but linear dodge add is pretty good for now as well because of the dark background, right? 100% opacity, press OK. And I'm also gonna take my eraser with a soft brush eraser, which means 0 hardness, right? And give myself a nice little sort of like almost a flare look. All right, so if I were to zoom out now, you'll be able to see that nice little sort of flare. I like to put the flare on the far right side of this, so below the box right here. And then all the way on the right side as well. So like that, right? And then we got ourselves a very nice, clean looking. What I also like to do is I like to take the follow me, the subtext by the way, and take the opacity and just lower this down quite a bit because I want it to be like a secondary thing you look at, right? So follow me for updates. I'll have it on like 40% opacity or something like that, right? So now we're pretty much done, and then you guys are good to go. I mean, this is literally the same exact thing. For the Twitter one, in my actual personal example, I went with gray. I went with blue for this one because why the heck not, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video here today. I think it was pretty cool. I hope that you guys will hopefully use it on that cool stuff. Like I said before, if you guys were to want to size it and make it a little more bigger or whatever, you'll take your actual crop tool, you just crop it like so, right? The background itself. And then you take this little rectangle, so this is a vector, you can press Control T, and then just kind of move this to the angle it needs to be. You can take this, move this kind of stuff too, have Twitter be here, if you want it to be like a merge thing, right? So it's very, very quick and very easy if you guys go at this path and using the using the rectangle tool as like your sort of basis for your stroke and all that stuff like that. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy one more time. Of course, 200 likes on the video equals a secret down below, which will most likely be some really cool panels for you guys to download and go ahead with. So of course, the faster you guys hit that, the faster it comes out. With that being said, one more time, I like to say with that being said, is that a thing? Anyway, I love you guys. If you guys have not subscribed already, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe. Check out some other videos, all that good stuff. Also follow me on Twitter at SystemHQ. Check out my Sell-Fi for any pre-mades of packs as low as $5 as well. Much love. I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. SystemHQ out. Do not forget to keep smiling, stay positive, and stay freaking productive, guys. Later.